Hello, and welcome to a tutorial video that is going to show you how to embed Google Documents into your Haiku page. To get started, you're going to need to go to a Haiku page where you are a teacher on, and you can edit this page. Once you're there, go ahead and click on Add Content Block, and you will see the all too familiar menu. Before we get started, you might be thinking, wait, well, I already know how to upload Google Docs to Haiku. And yes, you can do that using this button over here, Files, and then attaching from Google Drive. However, that will only give you kind of like a link to your Google Doc. If you wanted your Google document to kind of show you a preview or like a thumbnail within your Haiku page, you would use this Google Drive feature that is highlighted by my cursor. Like I said, this gives you a thumbnail or a preview that you can use without necessarily having to leave your Haiku page. So let's get started and click on this. First, you will be presented with two options. You can either create a new Google Drive document, or you can pick from Google Drive. If you choose to use Create a New Google Drive Doc, it will create a pop-up window and you will be able to create the document that you will later attached to this thumbnail. I recommend using Pick from Google Drive because I have always been a fan of creating my resources first and then finalizing and uploading them once I'm ready for that piece to begin. So let's assume that we have done that and click on Pick from Google Drive. This will bring you to a file upload menu. And you might notice that there are some owners of documents that aren't necessarily yours. And if you're on a collaborative team that uses a lot of Google Drive and the Google Documents, you might be kind of overwhelmed, or your document might be pushed to the bottom because of all the more recent edits. There is a way around that. If you click on this button right here that says AZ, this is your sort options. When you click on that, you have a few things that you can do. You can choose last modified, which will show you the documents that were last modified by anyone. You can do last modified by me, which will show you the documents that you last modified. You can do last opened by name or by me, or you can go by name. It's whatever would be the easiest for you to find these documents. I'm partial to last modified by me in this case so that I can choose the documents that I have been working on. A quick sidebar. I highly recommend that you have some sort of naming nomenclature for the documents that you use, because it can get very confusing if you have Untitled Document 1, Untitled Document 2, Untitled Document 3, and so on and so forth. And you are just making things more difficult for yourself. So I know that we're going to use Haiku collaboration questions. So I'm going to click on that and press select. So before we hit next, I want to point out something with this permission setting right here. If you want your students to be able to collaborate on a Google document, you will press students and teachers. If you only wanted it to just be something that the students can view on the page, you would select teachers only. So I'm going to use this in the nature that we would want to use this in some sort of collaborative activity. So we've selected students and teachers. Let's press next. And the document will appear on our page after we refresh it. Just like that. So I'm going to jump over to the student view really quick. And I want to do this so you can see what this looks like for students. So I'm going to navigate to the page. Once we're there, it looks a little something like this. If the student wanted to edit it, they would click on this little edit icon that looks like a kind of a pencil. Click on that and a new pop-up window will be created where it links to that document. And once it loads through, students will be able to make any suggestions or changes that they wanted to the document. So for example, if you were using this as a brainstorming feature, you could say, what do you know about Abraham Lincoln? And kids might say he was the 16th president, he was born in Kentucky, so on and so forth, and all of their ideas would be compiled together. You could use this as a way to brainstorm. So say you're going to write a procedural essay. Well, what are some of the procedures that would be very useful for other students to know about? And then the entire class can collaborate and start to think of those ideas. Or maybe you're doing a jigsaw activity where you have the one Google document, this collaborative Google document that you're going to use per class, and the class is divided into maybe 4, 5, 6, or however many groups, and you want them to come together as a whole to be able to kind of create that bigger picture that you would use as a jigsaw. So you have that option if you want to do the collaborative feature, but also if you just wanted to have a thumbnail that they could preview, such as like a PDF document that they could read in the page, you could also do that. And so this concludes the tutorial about how to embed Google Documents into your Haiku page, and please contact me if you have any questions. Thanks.